Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we'll be talking about the 9th spell that I'm covering called the Blue Light Whips. So Blue Light Whips are spell which is chain based such as Seal Feet, but it has different uses than Seal Feet. Alright, so still level 1 to level 7 spell, and this is, remember that this is a chain spell, meaning that you have to chain to a certain turn for you to be able to activate this spell. Okay, so the blue light whips is a spell which allow you to passes a turn to allies. Okay, so for example, um, since level 1 you can only pick defenders, you pick Grand Hilda for example. So at turn 6, the spell activate or the first round of the 6th turn, the spell activates on your Grand Hilda, and when your Grand Hilda hits within 4 turns of the uh, spell activation, meaning that you have the window of 6 turn to the 9 or 10 turn for the whips in order for you to activate the effect. And if Grand Hilda, for example, was able to attack within those turn, Grand Hilda will pass through the next turn attack to your other unit, for example your Walls, which will attack after that. So basically you can do some sort of chain attack, which is one attack and one taunt, for example. That is how I saw people who usually use whips on the arena. Alright, so at level 2, the duration of the whips will get increased to 5 turn. Level 3, you can now pick magicians, um, which passes through the attack. So and the duration for whips, if you pick a magicians, it is 16 turn. This whip will, for example, if you pick on a magician such as Velven, when Velven got the spell, it will have the duration of 16 turn. So the 6th turn to the 21 or the 22 turn, 22nd turn, and then if Velven was or will or does hit within those turn, um, he will pass through the attack, not when Velven is casting, but it is when Velven attack. So please do keep in mind that for magicians, this spell will activate when you actually attack and not in a casting stage. Okay, level 4 increase turn from 5 to and 16 to 6 and 18. Level 5 you can now pick warriors. So level 5 is the optimal level for this spell too, and you can basically be able to chain attack and taunt at the same time. So you can attack and then you can taunt, so making your formation to be more um, dominant um, when you are fighting an enemy, because your taunt is up and the enemy will basically hit your taunt instead of your real formation. Alright, so level 6 um, will basically have the spell activate at the 5th turn, and at level 7 it is before the 4th turn start. So I do think that level 5 is still optimal, but you can use level 7 if if you don't have cellular form, or if you are using um, for example Venaka's formation, because it should be very easy for you guys to chain your attack to the 4th turn instead of the 6th turn, if you are using Venaka comp. And the thing about blue light waves, if you are using a Venaka form at level 7, your unit will be able to hit twice, not hit twice, that you will be able to use 2 units that attack consecutively. So for example, you pick your Vols and you chain so that your Vols attack at turn 4. So meaning that your Vols will attack and maybe your ally could attack. You could deal devastating blow to the enemy's formation. So I do think that Wisps are a really good spell, but you do need him to be at least level 3 if you are using it for magicians, level 5 if you are mainly want to use it for warriors, and level 7 for Venaka's team formation. The bad thing about this wave is that even though if you are using it on magicians or defenders, um, I think the magician part is not really that good, and if you are mainly using it for magicians, I do think that Sylphid is still the better options, because as you can see, if you are casting it on a magicians, there might be a chance that your magicians die before before he or she are able to dish out the attack. Meaning that, for example, if you use it on Velvet, your Velvet might die before the second round are achievable, and you lose the effect of the blue light waves instead. I do think that the optimal usage for this spell is still one attack and one taunt, but you can also go full rogue and attack with two warriors at the consecutively. Alright, so that is the rough explanation for the blue light whips, and we'll go ahead and see on the showcase of the spell. The example of me being attacked by a person using the level 7 blue light whips, and because he has a level 7 one, meaning that he will need to chain, he will not be needed to chain too much. So as you can see, his falls was will be attacking at the 4th turn, and he will attack my Sigmund because he's Falcon targeted warrior. As you can see here, bang, Falls was able to kill, and he will be able to use a lot to chain next. Okay, so if you don't want to use a taunter, you can basically use another warrior here so that he was able to kill my team. But I do think that these spell, the blue light whips, are really good if you are using it mainly on attacking while also defending, some sort of a hybrid attack formation. Um, but if you are planning to use it on magicians, I don't recommend it because Selfie does make the better options. But overall, the enemy team still loses because I deal too much direct damage. Alright, so yeah, I do think that this spell is decent, but since it is a chain spell, sometimes you do have to chain quite a lot if you have this spell on low level. But once you get it up to a certain degree of level, for example level 5 or higher, it will be pretty relatively easy to chain it. For the spell itself, I do think for myself, I do recommend you guys on Sylphid more than the spell, because if you have, for example, a really simple magician such as Falvern or Celia or even Natus, you will be able to basically destroy the enemy formations within your first round of attack. So I do think that this spell is decent, but I don't think that you guys should invest if you are a free-to-play player. There are basically more better spell to invest on. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next spell card explanation. Alright, bye bye.
お前はもう死んでいる。